So the way you use for loops is, let's discuss that. So let's define a list. Actually, let's call this list numbers. It will contain a list of numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's say we want to print these numbers, but we cannot just simply do numbers. We cannot just simply print numbers, right? Yeah, we want to print them on separate lines. So the way you do that is you use for loops. So for, let's say, item in numbers, and then you print this item. So what's happening here is basically you're iterating over this list, and for each iteration item will have a value. So, and every iteration the value for this item variable will keep on changing. So for example, the first iteration will be 1, next will be 2, next will be 3, next will be 4, and so on. So if we run this program, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. So that's how for loops work. What are while loops in Python? So what is a while loop? So a while loop is a loop which is executed while the condition is true, and thus the name while loop. So let's say, for example, I want to print numbers from 1 to 10. So this will be very inefficient, printing like every single digit on one line, like so. It'll go 1 and then 2 and then 3 and so on. It will take like 10 lines of code, and it will be very inefficient because you have to write more code and it is repetitive. So how do you do this using a while loop? Let's first define a variable called count, initialize it to the value of 1 because we want to start with 1. Let's define a while loop. So the syntax of while loop is while the condition. So while count is less than 11, because we want the loop to be executed 10 times. So while the so 10 is less than 11, so it will be executed till 10. So we will be printing the value of count, and we will also increment the value of count by 1 every iteration. So let's see what is happening here. Count has been initialized to the value of 1. While count is less than 11, which is till 10, count will be printed, and every iteration the value of count will be increased. So let's say the first iteration it is 1, so the next iteration it will be 2, and so on till it reaches 10. So if we run the code, as you can see, we are printing numbers till 10. So the range function in Python. So what the range function in Python does is it will like print. It's like an object. It takes and it'll, you can do anything with it. So for example, if I do range 5, that is actually not how you're supposed to represent it. If we run the code, alright, I'm not printing it, my bad. So range, no, wait, let's store this in a variable called range 1, and let's print range 1. We'll get this, which is supposed to be the representation. So let's you can give it 3 arguments, so or 2. So let's first give it 2 arguments. So let's say we want to print numbers from 5 to 10 using the range function. So ideally this should do it, right? But it will not, because we have to use for loops to do that. So let's do for numbers in, wait, let's actually call this numbers. And so for number in numbers, this is actually how you do for loops. We will be printing number. So every time it should print from 5 to 9. Let's see. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's and I also said that you can give it 3 arguments. So let's say I'm giving the third argument as 2. So what this will do is it'll start from 5, but it'll keep on adding 2 until it reaches 9. So 5, 7, 8, sorry, 5, 7 and 9. So what if I do not give any what if I only give one value? So it'll start and it'll only, yeah, it'll start from 0 and continue off till 9. So a list is a list of elements. So let's define list of names. So the way you do it is names equals to, let's define 5 names. James, and let's do Tom. One more, so we will do just random names I've taken up for an example for no specific reason. So let's say let me tell you more about it. So let's say I want to print the first name in the list. So the way you do that is you give name and the index in square brackets. So the way indexing works is the index begins with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first element will have index 0 and it will go increasing. So if we print names, the first element, which is index 0, it should be printing Harry. Let's say we want to print the first 3 names. So it prints Harry, Mary and James. So the way it happened is it will start printing from the first index till the third index, but it will not print the element at the third index, it will print everything in between. So 0, 1, 2 and 3, but it will not print 3, so it will print till here. Let's say I want to print the last element. So the way it will is -1. So it prints Nick. If I want to print let's say the second last, so same way -2 Tom. We doing logical operators in Python. So logical operators are basically they check if so basically they are like and. There are 3 logical operators. They are and, or, and not. So they combine 2 relational operators. So let's see. So we want to see if 10 is greater than 6. This will print false, as obviously 10 is not greater than yeah, sorry, I wanted to do is 10 lesser than 6. Yeah, so that will be printing false. But if we do is 10 greater than 6, which you already saw is true. So what if we want to combine these two relational operators? So the way you do that is 10 greater than 6 and is 10 lesser than 6. So the logical operator used here is AND. So this will check if this returns true and this returns true, then the whole expression will return true. Otherwise, if like even one of these two returns false, the whole thing will return false. So if we run this, it returns false. But if we do OR, if this returns true or this returns true, the whole functions with returns true does. Even if like if one returns true, it will return true. So it returns true. But if I do equals to here, it will return false because of none of these return true. So true. Wait. Oh yeah, sorry, I had to change the other one. Let's change that. Yeah, so because none of these are true, it returns false. So now let's explore the NOT operator. If 10, we know our 10 is greater than 6. But if it is not, if this returns false, then it will return true. So since this returns true, which means that it doesn't return false, so this returns false. But if we change it to be if is 10 equals to 6, it will return true because 10 is not equals to 6, so it returns true. So in conclusion, we have three logical operators OR, which will tell if so this will return true if one of the expressions return true and both have to return true in this one, have to return true and not this one returns true if the expression returns false, otherwise it will return false. So these are the logical operators in Python.